So we've all heard about these disastrous real estate deals and what can make a real estate deal disastrous. Well, I find in my practice that communication is the key. Unfortunately, in our modern world of 2021, going into 2022, a lot of people are relying on emails or text messaging. And I always find, and I'm a little bit more old school, that just picking up the phone and talking things out can generally solve a lot of problems. Depending on the age of my person on the other side, the attorney on the other side, he or she, if they're not the type of person who's going to pick up the phone, it can create a degree of frustration. I generally find that emails sometimes lose a little bit of the urgency of what you're trying to say, and sometimes it's just easier to pick up the phone and hash it out. So again, communication is probably the most important thing, and that's not only communication between myself and the other attorney, it's communication between myself and the client, understanding what's going on in their lives and what's happening with them. It's communication with me and the realtor. The realtor's really, for some attorneys, realtors can be a bane, and for some attorneys, realtors can be an asset. I like to look at realtors as an asset, especially if I'm having problems with the deal, if I'm having problems getting something signed, or there's a problem with the survey, or if the other attorney's not picking up the phone, sometimes I'll call the realtor and say, look, if you know this attorney, give him a call and ask them to call me back. Or if they're the selling agent and I'm the seller's attorney, or they're the listing agent and I'm the seller's attorney, I'll have them call the selling agent to call the buyer's attorney and say, hey, tell the buyer's attorney to call Matt. He needs to talk to him, right? So that's where a good communication between an attorney and the realtor on the deal is important. And good realtors understand that. Communication with the title company is important. If I'm the seller's attorney and I'm trying to clear title issues, it's very important that I'm able to get somebody on the phone, okay, at the title company, the clearance officer or somebody with authority to tell me what I need to do to clear title exceptions. If I can't get a straight answer from somebody, I'm worthless, all right? And there are title companies or title abstract companies that are great, and there are title abstract companies, or I won't say underwriters, because they're usually pretty good. Most business in title goes through abstractors. So and the seller's attorney is at the mercy of whoever the buyer's attorney picks to do title work. So if I'm dealing with a title company I've never dealt with before, it can be challenging. Fortunately for me, I've been doing this for 30 years. I know most of the big players who are abstract companies. I usually know the owner, or I know who to speak to because I've done dozens of deals with them. I know immediately who to pick up. The other advantage I have is that Donna Belmonte, who's my paralegal, is also a title closer. So not only does she act as my paralegal, she is also a title closer, either sometimes on my deals, or she'll act as a title closer for other abstract companies I don't do business for. And the advantage there is Donna knows everybody in the business. So we're running up against a problem with XYZ abstract, and we talk about it. I said, Donna, call somebody over there. You must know somebody. And she'll pick up the phone, and Donna usually gets it done. And I really value her, and she does a very good job. So that's the other advantage. Again, going back to the oven scenario, generally what will happen is Donna is my point person. So she's going to be handling a lot of these issues, a title clearance, communication with the lender, realtor, sometimes the client. I always tell the client, look, I'm always available. But Donna will generally know more about your deal from contract up until the closing date than I will, because I'm all over the place. And I'll always tell the client, speak to Donna first. She'll probably have a good answer for you. But if you don't like what she has to say, or you're sick of speaking to Donna, just pick up the phone and call me. Now, about phone calls, my office is myself and Donna. We have a full-time answering service. More often than not, if you're going to be a client of mine, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and you call my office, either myself or Donna are going to answer the phone. If it's a male, it's me. If it's a female, it's either Donna or the answering service. So, and we're not one of those types of firms that you have to go through 3 levels of gatekeepers to get to the attorney who's handling your file. More often than not, I'm going to be picking up the phone. You're going to have my email address. I don't generally give my cell phone out, only because I don't pick it up. I'm not a millennial. I don't keep my cell phone by myself. I usually put it off to the side. Text messages are the worst way of getting in touch with me. I will respond, but I would always tell a client, don't rely on me promptly replying to your text, because half the time I don't know who it's from. So, but if you email me, you'll usually get a prompt response, usually between 8 or 9 in the morning to as late as 10 at night. Because I'm usually, if I'm home relaxing, I am able to look at emails.